Boink. Hello. Hi, Street. Hi, Street. Hopefully, hopefully all the settings are good.
Done. Your work efficiency has improved by leaps and bounds.
Okay. Let us continue this main story. Let's watch Zane's part unfold. I hear it's really sad. Yeah. Um, Talking to a muted friend. Street. So talking to a ghost essentially. Leave it like that. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. I got water, but I didn't get my, chapstick. Reading for a really long time just dries me out. I just go get that. Oh, okay. Breathing. Let us read. In the early morning, street lamps cast a bright, lonely glow across the snow covered streets. It makes the city appear deserted. Barely able to keep his eyes open, a boy dozed off in the priority seat. He swayed back and forth during the trip until he finally bumped his head. It was before the bus stopped, too.
Ow!
Ow. Oh, sorry, you got this.
Now arriving at Azure Square Station.
As soon as he
Please
gets off
remember
the
to
bus,
take
cold
all
wind mixed
personal
with snow
belongings.
hits his face. He washes away his drowsiness. He rubs his eyes. Upon realizing where he is, his gaze instantly lights up.
Chuchi, wake up! We're here!
The journey between the Arctic and Lincoln cities spans thousands of kilometers. After several transit changes, he finally returned to his starting point. After hurrying to a secluded bench and making sure no one's around, the boy carefully sets down his backpack and gives it an admonishing pat.
We're back. And you're not allowed to run off this time. Until we find the emissary, we need to stick to our usual plan. Pretend to be a regular dog whenever there are people around.
I have no idea who this boy is.
You know, the fluffy kind that humans love to pet. Got it? We'll practice paw shaking later.
The boy waits for a long while, but there's no response from the backpack.
Chuchi?
With a growing sense of dread, he unzips the backpack only to find a hole and a few tangled tufts of white fur. The wind whistles through the gap.
Huh?
Oh, it ran away. Studying the documents Zane gave me, I searched through every library and archive in Lincoln City. I tried my best to uncover the information about cosmic civilizations hidden in the biometric tree, but every search has come up empty. Several days of running around have taught me one thing, though. Unlocking the key secrets won't be something I can accomplish overnight. But right now, something else has caught my attention. The little boy.
These are special pathological cases where the subjects retain a human's physical features. but their consciousness has been eroded. Only primitive aggression and instincts remain. For now, we're designating them as Alterum. These Alterum share one common characteristic, too. They were diagnosed with protocore syndrome.
Protocore syndrome. 2 days ago, I received an unexpected message from Zane at midnight. It was long after we parted ways. I have to go on a business trip. It's not dangerous, but we might not be able to contact each other for a while. Don't worry. P.S. I'm not going to Mount Eternal. These sudden announcements had become the norm. I scrolled through my emojis and sent back a happy snowman with ellipses above its head. The words protocore syndrome act like a signal. They connect my earlier suspicions to create a clear pattern. This is under Zane's field of expertise. Could his sudden departure be connected to these alterum? The description of the alterum reminds me of those so-called specimens I encountered in Skyhaven. With the alterum appearing in Lincoln City, does this mean the Fountain of Atay has entered another phase?
But according to these forum posts, a mysterious figure has appeared these past few days. They strike before the police do, and their codename is apparently Dawnbreaker. They
LOL?
always manage to deal with the Otterum before the police can arrive.
Is Zane acting like Batman?
Wait, what? Another urban legend?
LOL.
Focus.
Jenna interrupts the off-topic discussion. The virtual display switches to show some photos from a crime scene.
As for these recent Alterum attacks, the police need a hunter to investigate and detect metaflux readings. Does anyone want to volunteer?
Me. Thinking these clues might help Zane, I raise my hand without hesitation. I'll go, Captain. Boss. After receiving assistant's credentials for my investigation, I head to Northern Ring Road that's located in the downtown area. A detective lifts the barricade tape and approaches me. After we shake hands, he leads me to the crime scene.
Thanks for coming out when there's all this snow.
I'd like to say the same thing to everyone else who's here. I set up the precision scanner I brought on the ground and turn it on. Once the scan is complete, the data will be uploaded to the cloud that the association can access. Then a detailed report will be generated for police use.
Perfect. We've received some of the restored surveillance footage, so we can take a look at it. The surveillance equipment was damaged by the cold, though. I'm afraid the video quality won't be great.
I thought Lincoln City's outdoor surveillance systems were designed to withstand low temperatures.
The temperature dropped far below the equipment's tolerance threshold. It's safe to say the damage wasn't caused by natural means.
In the low-quality footage the detective hands me, I manage to spot an unsettling figure lurking in the darkness. The creature's form is distorted. Weapons that look like hooked tendrils grow from its body. Compared to the ones I've encountered before, they seem to have grown significantly stronger. What about Dawnbreaker? Did you catch them on camera? The detective shakes his head.
They managed to avoid being captured by the surveillance system. Meticulous and efficient, I'd say.
As I approach the damaged guardrail by the road, my hunter's watch immediately starts blaring an alarm. The initial metaflux readings are extremely high. The Alterum is already similar to a wanderer.
So that's it then. We should deal with these Alterum before they completely degenerate into wanderers. Perhaps this so-called serial killer is actually a hero.
He's just a doctor in Lincoln. The detective gives me a contemplative look.
However, from a hunter's perspective, do you see the Alterum as humans? Or are they monsters that need to be destroyed like wanderers?
Depends, I don't know. These seem like completely new things. The line between humans and monsters depends on whether they've lost control. Once someone loses control, they become a monster capable of hurting others. It doesn't matter how prestigious their status might be.
What a thought-provoking answer.
The sharp wail of an ambulance siren cuts through the wind and snow. It grows louder as it approaches. We both look up, our gazes following it.
Wanderers? Alterum? The deep space tunnel? Sometimes I think about the kind of fantastical world I'm living in. If a disaster even worse than the Chrono Rift catastrophe arrives, how much could humanity really do?
So the authorities are covering this up and classifying it as an accident. They must be trying to prevent the public from becoming even more panicked. He nods before shaking his head.
The Alterum will cause panic, not the murderer.
Seeing my confusion, he smiles.
A blood-stained murderer is more relatable than these abominations. Yea or nay?
Maybe I'm overthinking it, but something about this detective seems off. In any case, the association will provide the police with a formal energy analysis report. I should get going now. On my way home, I opened the forum post that Tara sent me a few minutes ago. It's about Dawnbreaker. To read this? Let's expose the truth about the mysterious killer who only appears in Snowy Dawn's Dawnbreaker. Has anyone else noticed that the Alterum in Lincoln City have been slowly disappearing these past few days? That's because a mysterious killer has appeared in Lincoln City, the Dawnbreaker. They appear between dawn and sunrise, vanishing without a trace at daybreak, hunting Alterum ahead of the police. Inside scoop, 100% legit information, but don't ask me which insider. I can't say more. LOL. Cool. Dawnbreaker. The Alterum and Dawnbreaker, these names sound like links in a food chain, destined to exist in a perpetual cycle of predator and prey. Those monsters, come to think of it, I'm not so different from them. Rip. Will there come a day when others will try to erase my existence? As this crosses my mind, I find myself strangely at peace. What was that? I hear a strange noise behind me. When I turn around, I notice foot, no paw prints on the ground. Oh. What kind of animal left these? A squirrel? Maybe? Or a stray dog? Confused, I stand there, but then a white blur darts past my periphery. My scarf suddenly tightens around my neck before vanishing. When I come to my senses, all that's left in the snow is a chaotic trail of footprints. The white blur has already vanished into the darkness around the street corner. My scarf! In the run-down, gloomy alleyway, only scattered spots of light fall upon the snow-covered ground. A dead end. It took my scarf too. Where did it go? Snow falls silently. My surroundings are so quiet that even the sound of breathing seems jarring.
Are you going to drag me back to the cocoon? I won't return. Wait. You're Dawnbreaker. Just kill me already.
How could you identify that they're Dawnbreaker? Dawnbreaker? My heart races as I hold my breath and silently move forward. As soon as I turn the corner, I raise my gun at the shadowy figure. Hi, Bae.
You.
LOL, he's being Batman. We're in the city. The figure... Oh, whoops. In the dim lighting, several objects coldly flash from the figure's palm. They're ice shards, and they've pinned the teenager's sleeves and pant legs to the wall. A teenager? Black crystals cover the teenager's left arm and neck, but he's different from the test subjects I encountered in Skyhaven. The realization hits me. He's an Alterum. Oh.
I said you could kill me, not torture.
I suggest you stay quiet.
Oh. Oh. Demanding. That voice. I freeze upon hearing a familiar voice and move my finger away from the trigger. In that split second, a sharp ice shard cuts through the air. Okay. Sorry, I'm a slow reader, game. Dawnbreaker. Okay. Game. Stop. In this moment, a sharp ice cuts through the air. It barely misses my cheek. Dawnbreaker, like the Grim Reaper, turns to face me with cold indifference. He meets my gaze. Zayne? The white creature that had vanished into the snowy night suddenly appears from out of nowhere. It jumps onto Zayne. The pie? Taking advantage of Zane being momentarily distracted, the teenager breaks free from his restraints and pulls out a knife from his waist. With desperate eyes, with desperate wild eyes, he lunges at him. But his wrist is caught and twisted again. The crackling of a dislocated bone echoes through the alley. Gross.
Ah!
What exactly is this cocoon you speak of?
Why do you need to know so much?
Because I'm Batman. As if the word cocoon was burned into his nerves, the teenager suddenly jerks away. He clutches his crystallized left arm as he frantically runs to hide behind me. Well, but I'm holding a gun. Spotting my gun, he forcefully grabs my
If you're
hand
not
and...
going to kill me, then
God.
let me go. Stay back.
A flicker of surprise appears in Zane's eyes, but that moment of uncertainty quickly fades and his usual coldness returns. Stumbling because I'm worried that any second that the text is just gonna disappear again. Zane, why are you here? Zane, who should be away on a business trip, is in a remote alleyway in the middle of the night with an alterum teenager. He was addressed as Dawnbreaker, too. Something isn't quite right. Questions pile up one after another in my mind as I assess the situation. I slowly try to free my hand from the teenager's grip.
You?
You haven't gotten to the point where death is necessary.
Zane and I speak almost at the same time. I'm once again taken aback by the coldness in his voice.
But after tonight, that might change.
Wow, he's so stern.
The crystals will erode your body. Your skin will be split open, and your bones will be ground to dust.
Any more?
When it reaches your neck, you'll lose your voice. No one will hear you scream.
Okay. The person I've met before is the same one standing before me, yet this version of Zane is hot. LOL, JK, feels like a stranger. His voice is cold, his gaze is cold, even his breath is the epitome of coldness. Something seems to trigger a memory in the teenager. His voice trembles as his body curls like a bow being drawn back. He buries his face into his knees.
You're right. They all died like that after emerging from their cocoons.
Coons?
I want to live. But if I'm going to turn into a monster, what's the point? Rather than let the cocoon turn me into a mindless monster, I'd rather die.
Zane remains silent as he lowers his gaze as ice crystals silently form in his palm. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, is he really going to do this?
A dignified death doesn't exist. Thinking you're in control of the situation by choosing to die. You're only comforting yourself with a lie.
Jeez.
Did you escape just so you could die like a dog?
Oh, okay, jeez. Calm down, Zane. Let him have this one.
Don't lecture me with that nonsense!
The teenager straightens up and lunges at me again, his hands trembling uncontrollably, yet he grips my gun with all his strength, refusing to let go.
You're a hunter. A hunter's gun can kill a monster like me, right? Pull the trigger already!
Uh, those choices seem very black or white. I don't want to be responsible for this. Um, I mean, I would love to give him what he wants because it sounds like what he's going through is terrible. But I also feel like I need information from him. Hmm. 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 I won't do that. You can't be serious. With a flick of my wrist, I toss the hunter firearm away and kick it out of reach. The teenager desperately lunges for the firearm, but Zane catches him by the waist and pins him against the wall. Stay calm. Focus on my breathing. Exhale, inhale. You're trembling.
I,
Oh.
I,
I know you don't really want to die, so stop saying it. After several seconds pass, the teenager finally comes to his senses. He nods as if emerging from a trance. I steal a glance at Zane. His expression is completely serene and unmoved. It's as if he's an aloof observer standing at the crossroads between life and death. I move closer to Zane, firmly holding his hand in place, and give the teenager a gentle smile. You heard what he said, right? He said you can't die yet. He's the best cardiac surgeon in the city. If he says there's hope for you, then you can be optimistic about the future.
he's a doctor?
LOL. um Fortunately, yes. I know he might not look the part right now, but he really is the best in his field. Just don't misunderstand his intentions. You need to go. Now. The teenager freezes for a moment. As soon as Zane shifts his foot over ever so slightly, the teenager spins around and runs away. Oh well. Late into the night, the streets gradually darken. The light reflected off the snow makes street lights appear soft and dim. After watching the teenager leave, I turn back to look at Zane, who feels like a stranger. The small animal of an unknown breed stubbornly refuses to let go of his coat. It whimpers as he pushes it to the ground again. Now that it's just the two of us and this dog? Anyway, you can tell me what's going on, right? Did your business trip end early, or did Oxo Hospital call you back for an emergency? While I'm still asking questions, Zane bends down to pick up the snow-covered scarf. Then he stares at me as if trying to confirm something.
Is this yours?
If I remember correctly, this is the scarf you knit. No, picked out 3 days ago.
Oh, then it's mine.
Still talking like a badass. As soon as he says this, Zane walks right past me. LOL, you don't know me? Why are you suddenly acting like you don't know me?
Should I know you?
Actually, though?
If there's nothing else, I'll get going now.
But your home isn't there.
I know.
He stops in the snow and gives me a cold glance over his shoulder. His voice is devoid of any emotion. Actually?
The subway station is this way.
On the empty street, our footsteps crunch in the soft snow. With his tall stature and long legs, Zane strides quickly and widens the distance between us. LOL, story of my life. As a short person, I have short strides. I have no idea where he's heading or why he's acting like he forgot who I am. All I can do is quicken my pace to catch up to him. Zayne, answer me. I step in front of him to block his path. A mix of frustration and disbelief makes my chest tighten.
What's the matter?
That's my line. Has your evil gone out of control again? The puppy whose species I don't recognize catches up to us. Its gaze flits between him and mine.
No, I'm perfectly fine.
Why are you so grumpy? Zane casually brushes me aside and continues walking.
Hey, I think a couple is breaking up in the middle of the street.
Well, the puppy quickly shakes the snow off its body, gives me a sympathetic look, and then runs after Zane, who's already walking away. The two figures soon become dots in the snowy night. Whether it's because of frustration or anger, I stubbornly walk away without looking back, but after a few steps, I feel like something is wrong. Wait, the direction Zane's heading in. Huh? My heart races as I quickly follow the footprints in the snow. What the? Zane lies unconscious on the ground, his brows tightly knitted, as if darkness is dragging him down into the depths. LOL. Zane? I crouch and shake his shoulders, but he doesn't respond no matter what I do. Sir, are you okay? I can't just leave him like this. I try to help Zane up. As my fingers brush against his neck, I feel a layer of frost. It's unnaturally black. Could this be related to his nightmares again? A heavy sense of foreboding weighs on my mind, but getting him out of here comes first. I struggle to support Zane's weight as I drag him along one step at a time. Why was he talking about taking the subway? This path actually leads to my apartment complex. LOL. He wants to go home with us. I need to do some settings on. Okay. Is it? Continue. With his weight pressing against my shoulder, even a usual short walk home felt endless. Zane and I practically collapsed on the bed together, the snow from our coats scattered onto the floor. The little white animal anxiously bounces back and forth on the sofa. I pick it up and gently shake Zane. Hello? There we go. His eyes remain closed. A streak of black silently emerges from his sleeve and creeps along his veins until it reaches the back of his hand. The black ice that appeared on his neck has already spread to this area. I need to wake him up from this dream. I reach out toward the side of Zane's neck and gather my power. Almost instantly, I sense the chaotic, surging power raging throughout Zane's body. Like a force that's been suppressed for eons and is now finally breaking free, a bone-chilling cold surges forth. It makes my entire body shudder. The power within his body is unstable. That's why he lost consciousness. Oh, LOL. Wakes up. At that moment, Zane's eyes snap open and he grabs my wrist.
What are you trying to do?
Make you feel better. He grabs my hand and pins it. Encased in ice, my wrist is already stuck to the wall once I realize what's happening. I take several deep breaths to compose myself. Trying to help you treat the black ice. When did it start appearing?
While I was dreaming.
He lets go of my wrist and the ice crystals dissolve with it. I guess there's no point in asking. To my surprise, the black frost didn't disappear after our resonance. It stubbornly remains on his body. Nevertheless, Zayne appears much better than before. Remembering how cold he felt, I take out a thermometer to check Zayne's temperature.
Extremely low temperature detected.
LOL.
To protect the device and extend its service life, the system will be automatically turned off in 1 minute.
He's a vampire. The reason for the extremely low temperature isn't concerned, and tries. Wait, what? Sorry, let me read that again. The reason for the extremely low temperature isn't concerned and tries to prop himself up. Seeing this, I pull out an old-fashioned infrared thermometer and aim it at him. Freeze. I press the sensor against his forehead and playfully pull the trigger.
You're being childish.
As expected, he doesn't move. Beep. Lost in thought, I stare at the screen showing his abnormally low temperature. No wonder all the surveillance cameras at the crime scene were damaged by extreme cold. Even though I'm not sure if it'll help, I take out 2 fever pills and hand them to Zane along with a glass of warm water.
That's medicine.
Correct.
It's bitter. I'm not consuming it.
You're a doctor. LOL, you're a doctor. You of all people can't complain about bitter medicine. For what must be the first time in his life, Zane's face shows an expression that can only be described as okay and. Not knowing how to help him uncover, I head to the kitchen and make fresh carrot juice. I doubt it'll do anything though. I think he hates vegetables though. Drink this instead, it's your favorite.
You know my preferences that well?
Wait. Zane seems genuinely thirsty. He takes the glass, hesitates for a moment, and then chugs it in one go. Oh. Got him! Well, do you want to give a more detailed review this time? He meets my gaze as the entire glass of carrot juice turns into a solid column of ice in his hand.
It's awful.
I see your hatred for carrots is written in your DNA. As the night deepens, the hustle and bustle outside my window gradually fades into silence. I gather every blanket and quilt in the house to stack on top of Zane, then I crank my heater up.
I'm not cold. I've already told you this. Take these blankets away.
He is being childish. Why don't you take them off yourself?
I don't have the strength.
Then don't move. He purses his lips only to furrow his brow a moment later.
You've been fussing over me for a while now. Is it for a particular reason?
You're important to me. Uncertainty flickers in his gaze.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You really, actually memory loss? I don't want him to see my expression, so I turn away. The real reason is simple, actually. When he falls silent, I push away my chaotic thoughts and turn his cold face toward mine. Dawnbreaker, you're very famous. So don't you dare run away or disobey me, or else I'll
You'll what?
give you more carrot juice. He asks softly, his chin is still tilted up by my hand as his gaze falls to meet mine. I'll make sure you won't live to see tomorrow's dawn. I yank the blanket up to block his voice and gaze in the darkness.
What you described is not the first time this happened to Zane. I witnessed it once when he was doing research with me at Mount Eternal. He became a a complete stranger overnight. No one knew what happened to him.
I figured this wasn't the first time Zane had been in this state. Dr. Noah's words only confirmed my suspicions. How did he recover from it?
That's something only he knows.
LOL. That's not helpful. Over the phone, Dr. Noah sounds just as troubled as me.
Back then, he ventured deep into Mount Eternal by himself, as if he had something to do there. When we saw him the next day, he had returned to his usual self, the one we all knew. I guess whatever he needed to do was done.
Mount Eternal. The place seems to be hiding a burden that Zane has never been willing to speak about. My intuition tells me that whatever changed in Zane must have happened before the Mount Eternal incident. Those black ice crystals, seemingly out of reach, they linger somewhere in the depths of my memories. When I open the door again, I find a ball of white fur sitting by the bed. It's wagging its tail at me. I want to see what this thing is. When did you sneak in? As I get closer, I notice the creature is contained within a semi-transparent dome made from the ice evil. It restricts its movements. I don't even need to ask who did this. Zane really doesn't show mercy, huh? The puppy-like animal lets out what sounds like a bark of agreement. I reach out to dispel the evil ice barrier, then I sit down with the creature in my arms. I know. Animal abuse. Now closer to Zane, I can see his eyelashes trembling in his deep sleep. They're like the wings of a weary bird that's finally resting at home. I don't know what you're dreaming about, but I hope they're sweet dreams. Definitely not. Good night, Zane. In the stillness of the night, only the white creature notices a faint sound. A subtle energy seems to be flowing. The white animal's ears twitch as it looks up at Zane and the girl's joined hands. The cold, corrosive sensation gradually fades. A warmth surges through Zane's cold fingertips like water traveling through a leaf's veins. For this soul that's been trapped in nightmares for so long, the unmelting black ice covering his body finally recedes bit by bit. Power of love.
The investigation into the Alterum and the unidentified suspect is still ongoing. We urge all citizens to remain vigilant, avoid spreading rumors, and exercise caution when traveling alone at night.
It's already the next morning when I wake up. Groggy, I prop myself up and press my temples to clear my head. Zane, beside me, Zane is still asleep. It's a rare sight at this hour. I lean closer and slowly become aware of his steady breathing. I watch as it slightly stirs the fabric across his chest. Oak. This is payback for making me haul you home through the heavy snow yesterday. Hope again. And that's for freezing my hand to the wall. This doesn't work. Holding back my laughter, I give Zane's nose a gentle pinch. It really hurt when you froze my wrist, so I'll pinch your nose for that.
Is
Oh.
messing around with people while they sleep a habit of yours?
Oh, normal Zane. I feel his warm breath on the top of my head. My breath, my breath hitches as I meet his slightly weary gaze. I can't really read well today. Zane? The morning light filters through the curtains and falls onto his tousled hair. Looking into those eyes, I can tell that familiar Zane has returned.
Yes.
Joy wells up inside me as I wave my hand in front of his face. Are you finally awake from your nightmare? He nods, and as he stretches his neck, I see the black ice on his body has completely disappeared. You're actually back to normal.
You could phrase that differently.
Before he can say more, I embrace him. He doesn't pull away and gently wraps his arm around my waist. Snuggles! Congratulations, I'm the first person you saw when you woke up.
Yesterday, when I was in that nightmarish state, did I trouble you?
He's whispering into our ears. You were a little childish. LOL. You were cold, distant, and had an unpredictable temper. You were even a little childish. But that was still you, wasn't it? I'll just think of it as seeing another side of you, Zane.
Why do I hear a hint of disappointment in your voice?
Seeing that cold and willful side of Zane, even for one night, reminded me of when we barely knew each other. I feel at ease as everything falls into place. A moment passes, and I look into his eyes again. How much do you remember about yesterday? Zane rubs his temples and sits up,
It's a little hazy, but I remember most of it.
including how you froze my electronic devices and hand to the wall, and how you even told me to not be nosy. He glances away for a moment before his gaze calmly returns to me.
I also remember how you stacked blankets on me
Oh!
and did a test with carrot juice.
Oh. Your memory is impeccable. So when did these nightmares start?
They became more frequent after I returned from Chansha City. And in those dreams, I always forget who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. The me in my dreams, however, has his own mission to complete.
He presses his lips into a thin line and looks at me. The guilt he feels is clear. For some reason, the scene from last night flashes through my mind again. It stirs up emotions I can't quite name. Well, there's no more black ice on your neck and hands. Your palms are warm too. It's safe to say that you passed the physical examination. Welcome back to reality, Zane. I open my arms and wait for him to initiate the hug this time. LOL. That was cute. Zane hesitates before leaning down. Then he wraps his arms around me. His warm breath brushes against mine.
Good morning.
Cute. Before taking Zane home, he accompanies me to the association. I'm going to update them on my progress in the Alterum investigation. Dawnbreaker vanished overnight. Some people on the forums joked that he had been broken by the dawn. The police investigation has hit a dead end, and the relentless snowfall is still the biggest obstacle for gathering evidence at the crime scene. While waiting for Zane to finish shopping, I sit in the car and look at today's news.
Ever, which announced the Fountain of Atay initiative, has revealed the first phase of the project, the Val Sanatorium. According to several reports, Val Sanatorium is using medical pods called rebirth cocoons to treat patients with protocore syndrome.
Rebirth cocoons? My mind quickly latches onto this word. I heard this term yesterday.
You're right. They all died like that, after emerging from their cocoons. Rather than let the cocoon turn me into a mindless monster, I'd rather die.
The cocoons the Alterum mentioned must be these rebirth cocoons. Sensing my troubled thoughts, the white creature pushes his fluffy self from the backseat to settle on my lap. Are you trying to comfort me? Thank you. When Zane woke up, I asked about the animal. He said it belonged to some distant relatives. As for why he got lost, stole my scarf, and refuses to leave Zane's side, Zane says he's not sure. So what kind of creature are you? I decided to take my phone out and use its image recognition feature. As the screen refreshes, it shows a majestic beige. The divine beast of antiquity knows all beneath heaven and earth. I'm gonna Google that. Bro, that's just a majestic, badass lion. Excuse me? And this is like a fluffy cotton ball that's sitting on my lap. This. This is what I found. I don't know if that's there. I'm focusing. But it's something like that. With trembling hands, I cup his face. My gaze travels from his clear eyes to the tiny horns protruding from like fresh sprouts near his ears. As I struggle to find the right words, Zane returns to the car. He has a bag of chocolates and dog food. But it's not a dog. Since you bought dog food, why don't you keep him? After all, your robot vacuum is the only other living thing in your house. Shouldn't it have a friend? LOL.
That won't be necessary. My robot vacuum has its own social life.
Wow. More social than me. Through the windshield, the warm glow of our headlights cut through the heavy snow gloom. Heavy snowy gloom. A figure is looking around while standing near Zane's house. It's a young boy in plain clothes. He's holding books in his arms. As soon as we get out of the car, the boy's face lights up with excitement and anticipation. He spreads his arms wide. Forgotten, the books fall to the ground.
Emissary!
Oh. The unfamiliar teenager rushes towards Zane, who's standing behind me. The mysterious little creature wagging its tail runs over as well. Soon enough, all three of them are tangled in a group hug. LOL, that's cute.
Let go of me.
The teenager steps back. Then he excitedly scoops up the small animal.
So that's where you went, Shuchi. Why didn't you tell me?
Watching this harmonious scene between human and animal, I'm touched, but then I quickly become confused. Who is this kid? Whose kid is this? Yours? Zane guides the boy behind him.
The son of a distant relative.
Oh.
He loves sci-fi movies and cartoons. I suppose his latest hobby is running away from home. And he's the master of that.
I lean down to get a better look at the boy. He has delicate features and appears to be around 11 or 12 years old. You live in Lincoln too?
Well, you could say that. I live in the Fractal Library.
Huh?
Excuse me?
In a nearby residential area.
The Fractal Library? I've never heard of it before. Is it a new building? Knowing he's related to Zane, I find myself adopting a gentler, friendlier tone. Is this little guy your pet? What breed? Actually, what kind of animal is it?
He's just a regular pet dog. He's not special. Go on, Shuchi. Bark.
Yes, because regular dogs have horns protruding from their heads.
That's not the correct sound.
Oh, It's trying.
Okay, now shake.
The small creature glances at me and then at Zane. He swallows his pride and places his paw in the boy's palm. He's trying really hard. Zane stands by the wall with his arms crossed. When he sees my skeptical look, he looks away. The boy's face relaxes with relief as his expression shifts to one that says, I told you so. Just spoke, so what do you... Like, can you speak? Can you spin? The small animal actually understands me and starts spinning in circles. He chases his tail. He really is a puppy?
When did you learn to do that?
It definitely understands English. Seemingly unable to watch any longer, Zane waves his phone.
I just got a text from his parents. They're going to pick him up.
Already? Can't you stay for a while longer?
I was actually planning to stay for a while.
Bless you. Zane's sharp gaze sweeps over the boy. I might be imagining things, but the child and the dog freeze.
Right. I wanted to say hello. Uncle Zane will send me home.
It's cold, so you should head inside. I'll see him off.
Can't we all wait inside? In the dim daylight, Zane watches the girl wave goodbye. She's out of sight once she closes the door behind her. The boy catches a snowflake in his palm and silently watches it melt.
Why did you come here?
Hearing the scrutiny in Zane's voice, the boy's expression shifts to match its severity.
7 years ago, you promised to take up the position at the Fractal Library. I traveled here because I'm asking you to fulfill that promise. You were selected as the emissary of the Divine. Astra ordained it, and your nightmare is the greatest proof of this.
Zane speaks before the boy can say more.
I also said that I had my own choices to make and more important matters to attend to back then.
The boy's expression grows serene, and his voice carries a maturity unlike the one from a few seconds ago.
Was becoming that version of yourself in the nightmare also a choice? People think they're making choices most of the time, yet they're unaware that all these options lead to one inevitable outcome. Fate falls upon us like this snow. It is silent and inevitable. And you too are destined to become...
He trails off, and the only sound that can be heard is nothing more than a barely audible sigh.
Since you haven't made up your mind, there's no point in me staying here any longer. But
The maturity and composure vanish as the boy's voice shifts back to a childlike tone.
I left the excessus bracelet you made for me at the library. Can you make me another one, please?
After a resigned sigh, an ice bracelet materializes around the boy's wrist.
Thank you, emissary. I'll take my leave now. In any case, you're welcome to find me at the Fractal Library in Lincoln City. I'll be sure to visit you again as well.
The boy slightly raises his hand, and his fingertips touch the air as a geometric shape gradually unfolds. He bows before stepping into the door woven from countless folded dimensions. Excuse me?
The emissary is a liar. I counted
Did he just open a portal?
7 years.
I'm sorry, what? As if drawn to his accusation, the wind and snow seem to follow through the vanishing door. They're silent. Huh? The snow ceases, and Zane remembers the first time he entered the Fractal Library. Even though it's called a library, its exterior was remarkably ordinary. It was like a building nestled in a quiet corner of Lincoln City's silent streets. The young boy begged him again and again, so he pushed open the slightly weathered wooden door. Whoa! That's like This reminds me of Elden Ring. When you go in to fight Renala. There were neither bookshelves nor defined boundaries. Instead, an endless garden with intertwining paths appeared before him. And a library that seemed to belong to another world stood at the point where those paths converged. As soon as Zane stepped into the backlight, he raised his head and saw countless bookshelves. They reached toward a tower's summit where sunlight poured in. The library shelves were endless. They were like stairs that led to another dimension. Then a young person approached them and claimed that Zane and the younger boy were the administrators of this place. In addition, Zane was destined to become the Fractal Library's owner. The young person told him that the Fractal Library, which stood at the intersection of dimensions, didn't really exist in any galaxy. It didn't belong to any civilization either, and each book in the library contained the fate of a world. Zane wondered if his own fate was among them. Perhaps his Perhaps his nightmares were hidden within a page of these large volumes from the moment he pushed open the door. On the night he returned home from the library, Zane had a different dream. In that unfamiliar world, he wore robes as he walked as he walked in a very tall tower. He was leafing through an ancient tome. Between its pages lay a jasmine petal from a spring day, and that spring day belonged to a timeline he had erased with his own hands. It would forever remain unknown to anyone. So, so in this timeline that he's reborn in, he is supposed to be like a keeper. He's like a record keeper of of like life, of dimensions, of different timelines. It sounds like it sounds like yeah, like he sounds like he's just like a record keeper and like an overseer of all these different like universes and parallels and dimensions, and that includes his own because it just spoke about one of his myth cards or whatever where he's like, I don't know, in that frost kingdom, whatever. I don't own that myth card, so I don't know, but okay, interesting lore. Also, like, I still can't like get over the first half with Silas, because those were like, that lore stuff seemed like huge lore drops, but we'll see. We'll see when I finish Zane's, because maybe it'll be just as big lore drops as Silas's. Anyways, just as Zane enters the house, I finish roasting the tangerines he brought. Roasting? Tangerines? Interesting. Okay. When I glance out the window, I realize the snow has finally stopped. Did your relative leave already? He must have a strict family.
Yes, he needs to go home and write his reflection paper.
Lowell. There's a distant quality to Zane's voice. I sit down beside him and hold out one of the roasted tangerines. Should I try that? Roasting tangerines? The weather is perfect for roasted tangerines. Try it. Okay? He stares at me for a long time before finally eating a piece of the tangerine.
You don't want to know what happened during the past few days when I disappeared?
If the explanation is going to be filled with medical jargon, then no. As for the rest, Zane will tell me when he wants to, and if he doesn't want to, that's his choice. Respect. He can't help but smile at my deliberate emphasis on those last words. He takes the half-peeled tangerine from my hands. Soon after, a warm orange slice is brought to my lips.
I said goodbye 3 days ago because I had accepted Carter's invitation. I'll be joining the Fountain of Atay research project.
Huh? Seeing me choke and cough several times, Zane raises his hand to pat my back. Good thing he's a doctor in case I start choking.
It's ultimately an excuse. Something unexpected happened, and the nightmare arrived before I could carry out my plans. Lately, Oxo Hospital has received a large influx of unusual cases involving protocore syndrome patients. Some died shortly after hospitalization. Others transformed within a month and became.
And I'll tear him. Zane nods.
All these patients had recovered at Val Sanatorium after entering a medical pod called the Rebirth Cocoon.
Val Sanatorium, according to the news report this morning, is the first phase of the Fountain of Decay.
Carter told me that Ever will soon hold a press conference to demonstrate the Rebirth Cocoon's effectiveness to the public.
Wouldn't that mean more unsuspecting protocore syndrome patients will go to Val Sanatorium?
We can't let them do as they please. I want to stop Ever's plans, not just for the protocore syndrome patients.
Zane trails off as he lowers his gaze.
I want to make amends for a mistake, one that should have been corrected years ago. Yet it still haunts me to this day.
I realize that for Zane, this carries a greater, more painful significance.
I know I disappeared without a word before, but will you come with me this time?
His voice is so soft and gentle. Asking me like this isn't fair. I know, right? I know he helped me so many times before, and I'd agree to any request he makes. It's just, I still need a reason. Now that he's finally revealing everything to me, I won't let him leave. I won't let him have his way so easily. What's in it for me? The whereabouts of the Aether Core, dirt on Ever, or more leads about the biometric key? A few sweet words aren't enough to make me risk my life with you. You're more convincing me that I need more time. I don't know why she's playing so hard to get all of a sudden. He's literally going into the he's trying to infiltrate the core of Ever and their biggest project, which is the Fountain of Atay. And we know that we have affiliations with Ever. It's also literally our occupation, like our job. I don't know why you're playing so hard to get all of a sudden.
Do you remember what you told me about the deep space collision chamber at the Gaia Research Center?
Who's gatekeeping? Me or him? Oh, lol. Yes, they conducted experiments to create me, their precious energy source.
Ever plans to restart that project. The new program they're showcasing at the sanatorium might be related to it. Isn't that a very convincing invitation?
Dazed, I see something flicker out of the corner of my eye, a fluffy white tail. Zane and I turn around at the same time. Uh, I don't remember how the boy pronounced her. Uh, Chi-Chi? Chi. I'm just gonna call you Chi-Chi. Aren't you supposed to be with your owner? Crouched near the robot vacuum, Chi-Chi whimpers. Those clear, innocent round eyes look at me first and then at Zane.
You're staying here to watch the house.
Oh, he wants to come with. Also, like, are we not gonna tell Zane the information that I learned when I was with Silas? Because again, those were huge lore drops. In the white testing facility, a row of circular medical pods lines the room. Surrounded by soft silvery light, they float in the air. Their translucent walls gleam with tranquility. Exquisite and graceful like meticulously crafted chrysalises, they pulse and contract with the rhythm of beating hearts. At any moment, it seems their contents might break free and soar toward the sky. Oh, we're fighting. Okay. I replayed the cinematic with the first from the first half of this new story content with Silas, the car scene. I replayed that a million
Concentrate.
times. And I took so many pictures. I took so many screenshots and I got this wallpaper. I
Let's
made it
go.
into this wallpaper,
Okay,
which I
Watch where it's going.
love.
Dr. Zayne.
Pretty slick.
Fall back.
And it's fun because if you look into
I'll
the
show
the
you.
car, like the top
Offense.
of the car, you can
The
see
best defense.
NC and Silas sitting in there.
No.
It's
your
pretty cute.
distance,
It was
buddy.
like it's like
Let's go.
details that I
Okay.
didn't think like
Now's our chance.
that you would be able to see them inside the car. I didn't
your
think that they would
distance,
model
or else
that,
you'll get
but
hurt.
they did, which is nice. Nice
I'm getting the
attention
hang
to
of
detail.
it.
It recovered. Be careful.
But yeah, I took a million photos from that.
Stay safe. Let's go.
Okay. Bring it on.
Be ready for its next move. Watch out.
I'm okay. Let's take it down first. Go back to the pit you
Guys
came
get
from.
this. Hopefully you guys get this.
Keep your tempo.
Eat this.
Seize this chance. Let's call it a day.
I'll give it a taste of our strength.
Let's go.
Okay. Dr. Zayne,
Fall back.
we did it.
Good job, you. After driving west on the highway for 2 hours, patches of green vegetation finally appear amidst the desolate landscape. Looking through the window, I can see the distant home of Val Sanatorium loom in the morning mist. After yesterday's events, we decided to tour the sanatorium as visitors to investigate. That they're not gonna. There's no way that they wouldn't recognize you. The Fountain of Vitae, the rebirth cocoon, the press conference, none of these can be tackled in a single move. Like, Ever knows who we are. And then Zayne is like a famous cardiac surgeon. There's no way that they would not recognize us. But whatever. However, we can assess the situation first before planning our next move. Are we almost there? Are we there yet? I feed the last cookie to Zayne as he drives. He nods and takes a moment to gather his thoughts before speaking.
There are things I need to tell you.
I'm all
The
ears.
technology used in the rebirth cocoon is from a research project Carter and I worked on when we were in medical school.
Oh.
Back then, I began researching the application of protocors in implantable devices under Dr. Noah's guidance. It was also something I was interested in personally. At first, the research progressed smoothly. Yet when we started doing experiments... We need to stop researching this. The protocore energy has completely corroded the heart. Our experiment failed.
But the heart started beating again. It just grew some black crystals, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
Did you know? The lab mouse we performed a protocore implant surgery on transformed into a wanderer and devoured its fellow test subjects.
Oh well, he sounds so happy and proud about that.
Zayne, our experiment wasn't a failure. We succeeded! We've discovered humanity's next evolutionary form! We definitely need to visit that barbecue place near the campus tonight to celebrate.
Lulu.
The experiment didn't lead to new life. It turned people into wanderers, minions of a protocore. It was a Pandora's box that should have remained sealed. I destroyed all the related research data that day. I hope to keep this truth buried forever.
But Carter didn't see it that way, huh?
No. He named it Exhart and took it to Xander Sciences. It was later implemented in the rebirth cocoon, which is the first step in the Fountain of Ate.
I love how in fictional stories, every major like scientific corporation that usually ends up being the bad guy is called Xander. Such a common thing. After finishing his story, Zane falls silent. However, his grip on the steering wheel indicates he's still caught in his memories. This is the mistake he wanted to make amends for. Not wanting him to dwell on the past, I clear my throat and lighten the mood. Have another cookie! I used to think about how if we had gone to the same university, I would have dragged you out to have fun every single day. We'd watch the flowers bloom in spring, enjoy the summer rain, collect autumn leaves, have snowball fights in winter. But based on what I heard, you must have been too busy to do any of that with me.
Not at all. In our lab, we always said it's best to take a 4-hour break while data is being collected. Then we can see the results after.
4-hour break? Damn. That's nice. How long were our breaks when we were in school? Half an hour to an hour? Damn. For a 5-hour studio class?
So
LOL.
during those times, I would have been available at least.
Come on.
I was joking. If you were there, I would have always made time for you.
The car turns onto a newly paved road, passes a sign that reads Val Sanatorium, and comes to a stop in the parking lot.
I'm not familiar with the sanatorium's interior layout. If you encounter any danger during this visit, remember not to go in alone.
Don't worry, I'm a professional. While I speak, I catch a glimpse of White approaching us. Oh. I was hoping it was the quote unquote dog, but it's not. Carter, who's here to receive us, wears a casual white business suit. Only a navy blue butterfly pin adorns his collar. An all white suit, huh?
Have you been waiting long, Zane?
No, we just got here.
Carter leans down toward the car window. Upon seeing me, his eyes crinkle and his smile widens.
When Zane called about needing 2 visitor passes, I had a feeling you'd be accompanying him.
Okay, so like our we're not like undercover. Okay. I compose myself. Yeah. Smiling politely, I step out of the car, but just as I'm about to speak,
Let's skip the pleasantries and head inside.
following Carter, we enter the long corridor that connects the parking lot to the sanatorium's lobby. My gaze falls on the emblem at the entrance. Under the curved shape are the following: Eternity Vanquishes Evolution Restraint Group. Eternity Vanquishes Evolution Restraint Group? Huh? Oh, without a doubt, this is Ever's logo. What's that supposed to mean? Carter activates the scanner, and a white light immediately sweeps over Zane and me. A cheerful electronic female voice speaks.
Visitor identification verified. Zane. I am Telomere, the AI management system of Val Sanatorium. Welcome to our facility. We hope you have a good day here at the sanatorium.
The doors slide open, and we enter the first floor lobby of Val Sanatorium. Pristine white surrounds us. The ceiling is unadorned, its white surface seamlessly integrated with the recessed lighting system along its edges. Beneath our feet, a gentle light bathes the white marble floor and illuminates every corner of the lobby. It just screams rich. This place seems.
Bright yet oppressive.
Oh, well. Yes. Pristine, silent, and unchanging. It's as if time itself stands still within these walls. In this environment, Zane and I stand out like two stains on on an otherwise white canvas. LOL. At least they're not. At least they're. I don't know. What are you? He's wearing black. I don't know what I'm wearing. At least they're not poop stains. A few doctors in white lab coats passed by us. Although they were quietly discussing patients' medical conditions, they nodded in Carter's direction.
Since Zane personally asked me for visitor clearance, I should give you two a proper tour.
Side by side, we follow Carter as he leads us to the reception desk in the center of the lobby.
I see the Fountain of Ate finally caught your interest. All those phone calls over the past month weren't in vain.
Right.
But I'm curious, what made you change your mind?
Um, Carter stops in his tracks by the reception desk. He turns around, his signature smile returning with narrowed eyes.
You kept talking about humanity's future. I wanted to see if it would actually come to pass. Besides, nobody knows Exhard better than me.
I hate that. It's so corny. X heart. Carter's eye twitches. After a long silence, he suddenly erupts into a fit of laughter and shatters the lobby's tranquility.
Good, good.
Gross.
You've convinced me. Everyone deserves a second chance at redemption. Remember, Zane, I gave you this chance.
Hey, Delulu.
And what about you, Miss Hunter?
I'm just visiting. When I receive this question, I deliver my carefully prepared response. Since Zane is joining the research project, I wanted to see what it's all about. Carter tilts his head. His gaze flits between Zane and me before settling on Zane. The amusement in his eyes is obvious.
I see. Even the strongest relationships need a solid foundation. I'll make sure you get a good position here.
He turns around and shakes the brochure stand next to him. The neatly arranged brochures scatter in disarray, and he pulls out two copies with a smile. He gives them to us.
The only downside to this place is that it's too by the book. But I guess that doesn't really affect you, Zane.
It's about complicated medical cases. The thin booklet methodically categorizes various diseases that conventional medicine has yet to cure. It's like a university department, and the facility's patients are eager students with a thirst for knowledge. A commotion breaks out in the distance. I look up. It's a group of elegantly dressed visitors being led into the lobby by a receptionist. They're being guided upstairs for a tour. On the staircase leading to the second floor, several patients in white hospital gowns are walking down the steps. I expected to see many high-profile figures in this place, but even then, I never thought I'd see her. Karen, who's 43 years old, is a Karen, who's 43 years old, is a war correspondent. She won numerous prestigious journalism awards. You think Karen is a Karen? For story-wise, yeah, that's true. She spent years reporting from the front lines, faced countless life-threatening situations, and has earned a large amount of respect in society. Oh, she's a journalist? Oh, well, they said war correspondent. A year ago, she was attacked by a wanderer, got protocol syndrome, and rarely appeared in public since then. I've met her a few times at Oxo Hospital. I heard she was also one of Zane's patients.
Dr. Zane, it's been a while.
Oh, we get to hear from Karen. Noticing us, she comes over to say hello. Zane acknowledges her with a slight nod.
Miss Karen?
Someone of her caliber choosing ever. That's probably the best endorsement they could ask for.
I heard that when she left Axo Hospital, she had less than 2 months to live. Her daughter had just learned to say mama when you handed her a death sentence. How cruel.
LOL.
Dr. Carter, the patient in room A504.
Oh, so she was admitted to Zane, but Zane couldn't help her? Carter gestures for us to wait a moment, then he takes a few steps to discuss something with the man at the front desk. Noticing my silence, Zane stops in his tracks.
What are you thinking about?
It's nothing. I just realized that Ever seems to have a knack for exploiting human vulnerabilities by any means necessary. How else could they gather people from different backgrounds and beliefs and make them devoted to a single cause?
The key to obedience isn't promising heaven, it's using hell as a threat. After all, everyone fears illness and death.
Footsteps accompanied by a familiar voice approach from behind. I turn.
We meet again, Miss Hunter. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Benedict, Director of
Benedict
Val Sanatorium.
Cumberbatch. You know, honestly, if you just like reshape that model a little bit, you could make him look like Benedict Cumberbatch. But then that would be a problem. you From what I remember, he had another identity. I met him at the place where an Alterum died. You're the detective who spoke to me that day.
I'm honored you remembered me, Miss Hunter.
He smiles not with the embarrassment of someone whose identity has been exposed, but with the composure of a performer waiting for the audience's reaction to a grand reveal. Alarm bells ring in my mind, but he quickly shifts his placid gaze to Zane.
It's been a while, Dr. Zane. Welcome aboard.
Who are you? Ever's CEO? Oh, we're fighting. Oh, and that's the end of the first well, chapter 3, whatever, Zane's first section. Auto fight. Wow. Maybe I'll be able to finish the main story. That went by faster than the other time.
This will be easy. I'll treat it as a warm-up.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around. Silas!
It can't escape. Watch out. It's going to attack. Look out. Not bad.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around.
You're too close. That's my spot.
You won't escape. Silas!
It can't escape. It was a piece of cake.
We crushed them.
Oh, lol. Yeah, it's late for you. LOL. I don't think Karen is a bad guy. LOL. Okay, good night, bye. LOL. There she goes. What's broken? Well, I is I an emote?
It's time to get moving.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around.
It's time to meet your maker.
It's your turn.
Okay, if you say so.
Eat this!
Let's...
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around.
You're too close. It's my spot.
Oh,
I
maybe
guess
that's
it's
why
gonna
not
fight
working.
dirty.
It was just take this!
It's time to serve the main course. It's your time to...
Everything went well.
Oh, bye. Good night. Chat while this is auto fighting.
It's time to get moving. Are you prepared to keep up with me?
You're the one who should be. Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around. Eat this! Bring it on. I'm okay. Let's take it down first.
We're halfway there.
It won't take long for us to be done. Take this!
It's time to serve the main course. It's your time to shine. It's time to meet your maker.
Your plan worked again.
With you here, I only need one plan.
Ah. You're up. Bothering me. Alright. Continue and finish this, shall we? We officially caught up. I also got 2 new 5-star memories. I got Silas's night plumes and Caleb's, like, was it something with waves or something titled like that? Um, Maybe I'll do that at some point. Probably not on this stream though. Oh, just checking. I'm checking on my Tamagotchi. I unearthed my Tamagotchi recently, and I was just, I don't know, and it was a mistake. These things are just way more annoying than I remember. They're so difficult to take care of. Also, the one I got is so ugly. I can show you what it looks like here. This is the Tamagotchi that I got. I don't know if it's gonna show. Oh. So difficult. LOL, looks like I'm making like the Illuminati symbol, but I'm just trying to, no, it didn't. I don't know if that worked, but it's Uggo, and I debated on restarting, but whatever. I don't know how long I'm gonna be playing with this. Anyways, Benedict extends his hand as a friendly gesture. Zane barely returns the handshake before quickly withdrawing.
Wait, you two know each other? Why didn't anyone tell me?
Dr. Zayne and I met at Mount Eternal. However, it was a brief encounter.
I remember. I didn't expect us to meet again here.
When Benedict is introduced, I learn that he was once a distinguished doctor. He served as a mentor for a group of new recruits during the Battle of Mount Eternal. However, he withdrew from the position at the halfway point for personal reasons.
We're not officially open to the public yet, but this sanatorium has already become the preferred choice for many patients. As the director, I'm truly grateful that everyone has embraced the philosophy of the Fountain of Ate.
Through the glass walls lining both sides of the corridor, the sanatorium's new patients can be seen. They're undergoing a physical examination. Test subjects. Each patient is accompanied by their assigned medical staff member. The checkups proceed quickly with virtually no waiting time. When you hear rebirth cocoon, what comes to your mind?
Metamorphosis.
Outside the ascending elevator, the stark whiteness gradually gives way to green. A vibrant garden appears before us. And suddenly everything clicks. When someone returns from death's door, and this is the first thing they see, a crescent-shaped corridor encircles a towering tree, surrounded by emerald-like grass dotted with vibrant flowers. The area overlooks a circulating azure lake. They feel like they've been given a second chance at life.
To be frank, we need Dr. Zayne's help to improve our experiment's success rate.
He speaks as if he's discussing statistics rather than matters of life and death. If there's still room for improvement, shouldn't you inform your patients about this so-called success rate?
They're aware. The patients who've been given terminal diagnoses voluntarily agreed to participate in the experiment. It's a deal with mutual consent. Besides, who would choose to wait for death's certainty when given the chance to roll the dice of fate?
Third floor.
As the elevator doors open, an unexpected gust makes me squint. Before me is an unfamiliar white corridor. It's empty and clean. I would hope so. The corridor is lined with separate rooms on both sides, and through their semi-transparent glass, I see an egg-shaped experimental pod. Here are the rebirth cocoons. Their mysterious nature has been revealed. Mounted on bases lined with energy circuits, they emit a gentle glow. That's very futuristic. Contrary to what we expected, Carter and Benedict seem quite willing to show us everything. Yet what we see feels like a meticulously crafted exhibition for the visitors. The light bathes everything in soft, warm tones to create a sort of cocoon effect. Even the air filtration system can be adjusted to simulate different scents based on mood. Every detail was made to spark a desire for life and create an illusion of truly being alive. A soft hum fills the air as fluorescent blue energy flows through the tubes and rapidly enters the chamber. The connected monitor displays the rebirth cocoon's interior in real time. Inside, a young girl receiving treatment clutches her chest. She takes deep, labored breaths. Pain covers her already pale face as she breaks into a cold sweat. Her hands tremble and she soon starts convulsing. That's not good. Seconds after the device activates, her breathing steadies at a remarkable rate. Her convulsions stop. As time passes, her breathing finally becomes regular. Exhausted, she closes her eyes and seemingly drifts into a deep, dreamless slumber. The video feed sparkles with light as text appears to indicate the treatment is complete. Benedict presses a button on the wall, and the treatment room's smart glass returns to its opaque, milky white state.
Dr. Zayne, these should interest you the most. The treatment consists of 7 sessions. Patients show significant improvement in health indicators after each one.
He hands over a document that contains experimental data from several test subjects. Zayne's gaze lingers on the first page for half a second before turning to Carter, who's standing to the side with a self-satisfied look.
I won't be sugarcoating anything. Your experiment has failed to meet its objectives. You've lost control of the cellular mutation process.
You could have used a little bit of sugar. Zayne, the rebirth cocoon is our most successful experimental product to date. Our ultimate goal is to achieve humanity's perfect form through genetic and cellular reconstruction.
Without a hint of emotion, Zayne glances at him. Then he taps the data success rate column with his knuckle.
These numbers are far from perfect.
Someone's using his expertise well.
As the creator of X-Art, I can tell you that your so-called success merely uses the existing technology to temporarily delay the disease's progression. And if it fails, there's a likely chance that the patients will transform. Then they'll begin to turn into wanderers.
Every treatment carries risks. If we only relied on your safe methods, then...
LOL. Zayne closes the files and hands them back to Benedict. His expression remains calm throughout the exchange.
Of course. I understand you're challenging the impossible. That's why I decided to join. I enjoy challenging the impossible.
It was all a bit. As they continue their thoughtful verbal sparring, my gaze is drawn to the the curved floor-to-ceiling window beside us. What did I say? Outside, patients in white hospital gowns walk across the verdant lawn. They create an unexpectedly peaceful scene. At that moment, my heart detects a strange energy. It pulls me forward. This feeling, it's just like before when I was in the ruins of the Gaia Research Center. I gently nudge Zane. He understands and takes a step to converse with Benedict and Carter. Then he successfully leads them away. After making sure no one's around, I slip into the descending elevator.
You're not allowed in there, miss.
I see.
You can't go there either. Miss? Visitors are restricted to the public areas on the first and second floors. We aim to respect our patients' privacy.
I turn to meet the receptionist's polite yet wary gaze and nod. Alright then, I'll head back. It was that way, right? I point to a spot in the distance. Confused, the receptionist turns to look, and I prepare to make my escape. But I'm yanked by the hem of my top. The faint energy I sense disappears. In the hallway, the receptionist has finally noticed my disappearance and is looking everywhere for me. Not good. The sliding door closes. I turn around, cautious, only to find myself face to face with someone familiar. Paul.
You're the young lady who
Oh.
accompanied Dr. Zane.
Hi, Karen.
Allow me to properly introduce myself. I'm Karen, a patient with Protocore syndrome.
A sliver of light from the outside filters through the Venetian blinds. It illuminates her gentle features. She extends her hand, thin yet steady, toward me. I politely return her
I
handshake.
know you and Dr. Zane are here to investigate the Fountain of Ate, or rather, the Rebirth Cocoon. However, the press conference for it is coming up, and you're not the only ones keeping an eye on things.
You said exactly what I was thinking. Are you also undercover so you can gather information? Maybe Karen's not a Karen. She nods, but after a moment passes, she shakes her head.
Sort of. My original reason for coming here was simple. I wanted to live. Isn't it strange? After all, I was a war correspondent who once risked everything on the battlefield. Yet, after returning to civilian life, I'm afraid of death. I even believed in far-fetched promises.
When it comes to a matter of life and death, I have no right to judge, let alone interfere with others' choices. Yet I also wondered, if I were a patient, would I pin my hopes on this experiment despite knowing full well how absurd it is? But I hesitate, unsure if I should reveal what I know.
You want to say that this experiment is turning people into monsters. Those things called the Alterum. I was there during the Battle of Mount Eternal. I saw people transform into monsters with my own eyes. Whether you're trying to stop it or investigate it, two people won't be enough to treat this as a simple matter.
She turns around and opens a drawer. She takes out a small, elegant notebook and hands it to me.
This may seem sudden, but I need your help. And I believe you might need mine as well. It'll be necessary to prevent this press conference from taking place.
Well, why would you? Questions flood my mind, but I can't find the right one to ask.
As it stands, I'm their most successful test subject.
Oh.
That visitor just disappeared around here.
The receptionist I managed to shake off earlier hurries toward us. Karen responds with a slight smile.
Take this with you. When you get out, tell them you saw the patient in room A107 faint. You were just escorting me back to my room.
I understand. Thank you.
Miss, how did you end up here? Is there anything I can help you with?
The patient in room A107 just collapsed. You should check in on her. While skeptical, the receptionist quickly summons doctors and nurses. The quick response suggests Karen's presence carries a special weight here. LOL. For my first visit to the sanatorium, uncovering these crucial leads is more than I could have hoped for. As for those secrets that lie deeper in a shroud of mystery and finding a way to stop Carter and Benedict's plans, that will take more time. I wonder how Zane is doing. I should act like I don't know anything when I meet up with him. Why? Pushing these thoughts aside, I carefully hide the notebook on my person before heading toward the main white building. As the tour is about to end, Carter is once again urgently called away by his assistant.
As the creator of Exhart, seeing your technology destroyed because of a momentary lapse in judgment. Do you feel regret or disbelief? I had imagined both reactions, yet I see neither on your face.
You must have been away from the operating room for too long, Mr. Benedict. You seem to have forgotten that showing emotions on one's face is the most ill-advisable thing a doctor can do.
Benedict smiles and chooses to ignore the sarcasm.
I'll be honest. I don't trust you, Dr. Zane, but no one else has your outstanding qualifications and experience. It's precisely why I want to bring you on board, even when I know you don't agree with our philosophy.
Since you're being candid, Mr. Benedict, I'll also discard the pleasantries. As I've said, I want to challenge the impossible. We each have something to gain, no? This collaboration could work.
Is challenging the impossible your only reason? Will you really let others handle your life's work? Don't you want to find out who created those Alterum?
You certainly enjoy speculating about others' feelings.
I just can't help but wonder. If your bold experiment back then was completed, would the results have been different? In any case, Miss Hunter will tell you about her impressions of the tour after she's done with her disappearing act.
The clamor from downstairs seeps through the window and causes subtle vibrations in the air. Calm as always, Zane meets his gaze.
I look forward to our cooperation in the future.
And just like that, our first tour comes to an end. After leaving the sanatorium, life with Zane seems to have returned to normal. Barely finding a moment's rest, he rushes between Oxo Hospital and the sanatorium. Rip. For the time being, Ever seems preoccupied with their grand vision with the Fountain of Vitae. The leads related to the Aether Core have also gone cold. Meanwhile, protocore syndrome cases are multiplying at an incredible rate. Oxo Hospital's emergency room is constantly overwhelmed. Medical teams worldwide continue to test new treatments, but the results remain disappointingly ineffective. It's as if a deity somewhere in the cosmos and uncertain about the world's fate keeps listlessly rolling the dice again and again.
Aren't you supposed to save people's lives? My wife is critically ill, and you're just letting her die.
Where's Dr. Zane? Isn't he the leading expert on protocore syndrome? Why can't he see us first?
He's a little busy.
Doctor, my child was perfectly fine yesterday. Why did the condition worsen?
In the break room for the division of cardiac surgery, the doctors and nurses can finally get a few minutes of rest. Exhausted, they slump into their chairs.
We're humans, not gods. We want to take care of everyone too.
In 3 days, Ever will officially unveil the Rebirth Cocoon at their press conference. It is designed to treat protocore syndrome. We interviewed Ms. Karen, one of the first patients who underwent this treatment. She will appear at the press conference. We might be witnessing a medical revolution. Only time will tell.
Everyone remains silent as they watch through the transparent partition in the door. In the corridor, they observe Zane's focused expression.
Isn't Dr. Zane supposed to be on leave?
Officially, maybe. I bet he's just busy with other projects.
Things just aren't the same without Dr. Zane here. Seeing him around makes me feel at ease. It doesn't matter how exhausted I am.
Yvonne lets out a deep sigh and turns to open the storage cabinet. With practiced ease, she breaks two dietary glucose sticks to hand out to her colleagues behind her.
Let's eat these and give it our all.
Doctor, if I get sick, will I turn into a monster?
No.
Really? Will from the bed next to me said these crystals will eat us and turn us into big monsters.
Dr. Zayne, I'd like to process my child's discharge papers. If you could.
Lexi's condition has shown improvement. I advise you not to transfer hospitals at this time.
But everyone's saying Ever has a new treatment. We really want to try it.
Uh-oh.
The pulmonary artery aneurysm has ruptured. There is insufficient blood volume for circulation. Dr. Zayne, we can pronounce the time of death.
Time of death, 2:23 a.m. Notify the family.
Using the wall to support himself, a teenager in a warm green hoodie staggers along. He stops to catch his breath after each step. Every organ feels twisted and turned inside out. His nerves scream from the agony of pain. They threaten to rob him of his strength to stand. His vision blurs as he collapses against the wall. His arms shake uncontrollably as he tries to brace himself. Something races beneath his skin.
I'm not a monster. I don't want to become a monster.
The violent urge surges through him once again as he stares at his hands. They're covered in sharp crystals. He's fighting against the impulse to plunge them into his own heart. Yet he can't bring himself to do it. Cold snowflakes fall onto his body that reached a fevered pitch. A man's steady footsteps approach. He stands at the end of the road, his tall figure nearly blocking out all the light from the street lamp. The teenager can still make him out, however. Batman.
You're the killer. Or the doctor. We meet again.
This isn't a coincidence. I'm here specifically because of you.
Is that so? Am I turning into a monster?
He forces his eyes to close for a moment. Even his vision is starting to blur. The man clad in black slowly approaches them. The teen feels an unexpected sense of peace.
I knew you'd save me.
Just as something foreign bursts through his skin to strike at the man before him, the teen hears the crystalline sound of ice forming beside his ears.
It'll be over soon.
The patient in room A103 is experiencing memory loss, continual emotional detachment, and exhibiting behavioral patterns that differ from usual. 3 days after entering the rebirth cocoon, the boy from room A210 disappeared without a trace. The patient from room A379 experienced a violent episode while awaiting treatment. The rebirth cocoon's performance has improved. I was chosen as the ideal test subject. They believe I'm the closest to success.
The notes Karen gave me consist almost entirely of observation reports on other test subjects. Her journalist's instincts made her distrust this research project from the start. She had already noticed something was off about it. This is a worn-creased photo slips out from between the notebook pages, its edges revealed the countless times it's been handled. In the photo, Karen is holding a little girl who's no more than 3 years old. Both of them are smiling at the camera. Is that her daughter? I quickly understand why she wants to live despite her doubts about this project. When did you get back? The breaking dawn appears outside the window as the sky grows brighter. Perhaps it's just my imagination, but I think I see those black ice crystals on his arm again. But when I move closer to check it, it seems I'm imagining it. Zane watches me without saying a word. I realize that I only came over last night to help feed Shichi, but I got so caught up in analyzing the clues that I accidentally fell asleep on the couch. Sorry, I went a little overboard when I made myself at home. A moment passes and a faint smile tugs at the corner of his lips.
Is there a passcode in this house that you don't know?
I clear my throat and hand him the notebook. I try to prevent us from getting sidetracked. In any case, I believe Karen is our best lead right now. Recently, Ever has made a public announcement about their best test subject who will make an appearance at the press conference. Unlike those big spenders and socialites, Karen has a positive, approachable image. She also has a good reputation in the eyes of the general public. They're trying to use her to build public support and convince more people to believe in their cause. By giving me these notes, she probably hopes I'll help her stop the press conference, or even put an end to the project altogether. So I thought, for a while, I've been talking to myself, and then he hugs me from behind. Zane?
Yes, I'm listening.
Having a hard time. His embrace is gentle, as if the slightest touch might shatter something fragile. Did something happen?
It's cold.
To think someone who likes snow could feel chilly, I paused before turning around to embrace him. I'll stop talking about Ever. But if you're really tired, please make sure you rest properly. Will you do that for me? The poor baby. Hard time. And he's working 2 jobs. Crazy. There are less than 36 hours remaining until the press conference for the Fountain of Atay. Hello. Before returning to the sanatorium to stop it, Zane and I quickly come up with a plan. I need to approach Miss Karen again to figure out a surefire way. Meanwhile, Zane, who already had connected with the core researchers, will cover for me. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Whether it's diseases, wanderers, or the Alterum, they all stem from humanity's instinctive fear of things beyond their control. The deeper this the deeper this fear takes root, the more likely people are to mistake absurdity for miracles. And whenever appears as a savior, they will gain a congregation of devoted followers. Zane, the energy source I detected wasn't my imagination. I'm still not confident in utilizing the spatial core yet, but another visit might help us discover something new.
All right.
Zane nods. I prepared for a lecture about not abusing my power, but he says nothing. Here, put it on. To ensure the mission runs smoothly, I borrowed cutting-edge equipment from the association. The state-of-the-art invisible earpiece modified by engineering prodigy Simone is now no bigger than a grain of rice. I also have a small energy firearm. It's capable of bypassing most detection systems currently in use. I place the earpiece in my ear and gesture for him to come closer. Zayne obliges and leans down. One cough to turn the mic on, two coughs to turn it off, and tap to adjust the volume.
Thank you.
I'm not sure why you're being so polite, but as soon as the comms channel opens, deafening audio feedback blasts my eardrums. I clutch my ears in pain. I stagger back, and just before Shichi's mischievous attempt to trip me succeeds, Zayne catches me by the waist. He can't help but laugh, but this is the first time in days that I've seen genuine joy in Zayne's expression.
You.
I frantically clamp my hand over his mouth. Wait until I adjust the volume before you speak. I can feel his smile widening beneath my fingers as I use my other hand to adjust the earpiece. Sound check. Zayne, say something.
You've never asked about the reason for why I picked that as my research topic back in medical school.
He remains close to me, his breath warm against my ear. It's almost like I can hear his heartbeat. The path of medicine is a noble pursuit, Dr. Zayne. You strive for academic excellence. You also want to find a meaningful purpose in life.
It's a good guess.
Back then, when you decided to destroy what could have been a world-changing discovery, you didn't hesitate?
Correct.
It's the kind of honor most people would cherish for a lifetime, yet he seems genuinely unbothered by it. They must have chosen to stop the experiment because he foresaw the consequences of its potential misuse.
I had considered including your name in the acknowledgments of my paper.
Cute. I nod as I secure my firearm to the holster strapped to my thigh, then I double-check my equipment. You only thought about it? You didn't actually do it?
It wouldn't have been right for our names to appear on the same piece of paper without your permission.
Before I can process the meaning behind his words, a rustling sound suddenly comes from the window. A piece of bean-shaped ruby chocolate falls. Clattering, it rolls to my feet. Oh. I look up to see that the last pack of chocolate snacks from the cabinet has been taken down and torn open on the floor. I know you're not a dog, but I feel like you probably still shouldn't eat chocolate. Shichi lifts his face from the snack package, which is bigger than his head, and licks the chocolate residue off his nose. Wait, what did you eat? My body moves before my mind can catch up. I quickly pick up Shichi and check the empty package. You ate all the chocolate? You animals aren't supposed to eat that. Thoughts exactly. As noon approaches, the car enters the sanatorium parking lot. Since Zayne holds an internal role here, he's been granted limited clearance to the facility. I plan to slip in while he keeps the receptionist company.
Safety first.
You too. He doesn't look back when he leaves, but he subtly raises his hand for a quick high five as our positions shield it from view. With my biosignature concealed, the omnipresent security camera scan doesn't trigger anything. The red indicators blink before moving on. Dimitri might be crazy, but I have to admit the ID camouflage chip he gave me is really useful. The lush trees and flower beds scattered throughout the sanatorium provide the perfect cover. Dodging staff members in the courtyard, I make my way to room A107 from memory. That's where Karen is. So I basically am like Harry Potter, invisible cloaking around the facility. The staff will change shifts at approximately 12 o'clock p.m. There's a small window of time. To be more specific, there's a small window of time where no one checks the rooms. My shoes scrape against the smooth wall as I wait for the staff to leave. Once they're gone, I slip in through the window. Karen's eyes widen slightly at my entrance, but she remains quiet. Sorry, with the press conference coming up, they tighten security. I can only use this method to visit.
I expected as much. You're clever for figuring out how to find the perfect moment.
I understood the message you sent when you gave me those notes. That's why I'm here. Are you really going to give up? If we take this chance, you might actually have a shot at making a full recovery. Karen shakes her head.
After surviving so many close calls on the battlefield, I'd say death has already been more than generous.
She reveals a peaceful smile and looks at the sunlight streaming through the window.
When I first entered the cocoon, I dreamed. And in that dream, I had made a full recovery. I got to watch my daughter grow up. I was there for every important moment of her life. At her wedding, I hugged her while crying. But the face reflected in her eyes was unmistakably that of a horrifying monster.
Her gaze dims. Outside the window, a butterfly drawn to the artificial flowers in the vase crashes against the glass again and again. That's fucked up.
When I came to my senses, I realized I wasn't hugging her. My hands were around her throat.
Oh.
I only wanted to hug her. So why did I make her cry?
Sensing my hesitation, she pulls the IV line from the back of her hand.
My dear, have you heard of Zhuangzi's butterfly dream? I've always wondered who was really dreaming. Was it the butterfly? Or Zhuangzi himself? If I can't tell who I am anymore, then the whole world has become my cocoon. The time I still have doesn't matter. I've made my decision.
What would you like me to do?
The press conference is scheduled for noon tomorrow, less than 24 hours from now. In an hour, they'll place me in the cocoon for my final examination. You need to locate the cocoon's power supply and cut it off completely.
No. The cocoon is connected directly to the test subject's consciousness. A sudden disconnection could lead to unpredictable effects on her already fragile body.
Don't worry about me. I'm prepared to face the consequences. Finding a suitable test subject like me isn't easy. Trust me, this is the best way to stop them.
I'll find a way to get you out of there.
Even if you could carry me, my body wouldn't survive a strenuous escape.
I know she's right. Once the guard's shift ends, they'll quickly discover their most important patient has disappeared. Every exit in the sanatorium will be sealed off by then.
If this is to be my final battleground, then you must help me. Please.
I understand. After leaving room A107, I move quickly without any hesitation and stay out of sight.
Did you hear? Patient AIDS 379 suddenly lost control and became violent just now.
It's fine. Dr. Carter said that was normal.
Along the way, I quietly took down several orderlies, and receptionists who spotted me. The sanatorium is massive and many areas are restricted. A blind search could last until nightfall and still be a failure. What I sensed that day, it must have been the cocoon's energy core. I take a deep breath and activate the spatial core's power once more. My vision ripples and expands like waves. My vision ripples and expands like waves. A faint energy trail leads me forward like a guiding thread. My drifting consciousness slowly seeps through the sanatorium's public areas, the garden, and through each patient's room. If I can just find the energy control hub. Following the faint energy pulse, I find myself at the end of the corridor that connects the public area to the garden. There's a door almost seamlessly integrated into the wall. Without hesitating, I push it open. A large enclosed space gradually reveals itself. Behind this door lies an unexpectedly serene forest. Strange, there's no guards present, only an unsettling silence hangs in the air. My watch hasn't sounded any alarms, and there are no detectable signs of biological activity among the vegetation. The energy source's pull grows stronger as it tugs at the power flowing within me. It's as if I'm being guided in a specific direction. Past the forest's winding paths, an unexpectedly elegant old building comes into view. That must be it. The energy readings are at their strongest here. Dun dun dun. With Zane's help these past few days, the cocoon's data and performance have shown improvement. Carter is in high spirits. He generally believes his junior has switched to the dark side. No, has finally seen the light.
I remember you were sitting right next to me when we talked for the first time. Do you want to join my research team? Before that, we all thought you were just some stuck-up child prodigy.
Dr. Noah used to say that one person can go fast, but a group can go far. Besides, your theoretical research was undeniably superior.
A look of surprise appears on Carter's face.
Back then, you were the youngest and quietest out of everyone. Who knew you'd be the most forward-thinking, boldest student in the lab? You went ahead and performed what we didn't dare to imagine. And you'd pose what we didn't dare to ask to the most distinguished of professors, until they were left speechless.
Walking and talking as they pass through the streamlined skywalk, the two soon arrive at the sanatorium's central platform. As dusk approaches, light filters through the hemispherical dome like delicate silk. It bathes the courtyard in soft, warm hues.
I understand that Ever wants to use tomorrow's press conference to improve the Fountain of Ate's credibility. But the rebirth cocoon still needs to be further developed. It's not ready to be revealed to the public.
Why not? We've prepared the best testing equipment, and all the data will be presented to the public in the most accessible format. Besides, we already have a suitable candidate for a public demonstration.
He turns to Zane and his voice becomes more eager.
Zane, do you remember what I asked you the night Exhart succeeded? I asked if you wanted to change the world with me.
Carter turns to survey the crowd in the garden below, his figure reminiscent of a smug creator gazing upon their creation.
We stand at the center of all our achievements. I assure you that success is within our grasp.
What exactly do you mean by success? Are you talking about unpredictable success rates? Or how quickly you dispose of your defective specimens when they fail?
The smile on Carter's face freezes, then it slowly disappears.
In the past, they were patients you fought desperately to save.
Thanks for the reminder. I almost forgot how pathetically incompetent I used to be. Why is it that when I was a powerless doctor, the lives lost under my care were somehow forgivable? But when I strive to be a pioneer, you suddenly care about the injustice done to those who were already destined to die. When did you become such a coward, Zane? That incident at Mount Eternal? Let me rephrase that. You've always been better at confronting death compared to me.
An uncontrollable impulse surges within him. Fortunately, a voice comes through his earpiece and pulls him back to reality. Zane, I found the location with the strongest energy signatures. Just in case, if you can get clearance from either Carter or Benedict. Zane composes himself, discreetly tapping the area near his ear as acknowledgement. He looks at Carter. Pressing a finger against his chest, Carter's icy stare lands on Zane. His mocking tone from earlier vanishes.
The heart beating in my chest belongs to someone else. I can't live an insignificant life. Zane, I understand the meaning of death far better than you do.
Oh.
If these sacrifices are necessary, then so be it.
Wow.
We're about to solve humanity's greatest dilemma, and you're still too young. Ugh!
His limbs are forcibly frozen to the wall. The surveillance cameras freeze just as they turn, and their red indicators go dark.
You? Zane, you dare to freeze me?
The statute of limitations hasn't expired yet for your academic plagiarism.
Carter's briefly freed hand is sealed in ice once again, and his frantic struggling is frozen as an awkward, rigid pose.
You can't be serious. You're bringing this up now? The end justifies the means. Let me go!
It was a joke. But I need you to stay still for a while, Carter.
Are you planning to destroy the cocoon or cut off its power supply? The sanatorium has 6 independent operating systems. Pulling the plug won't be possible.
If this place allows someone with malicious intent like me to freely come and go, then that just shows how confident all of you are.
What are you actually trying to do?
Carter glances at him. His junior pauses thoughtfully before calmly shaking his head.
I won't tell you this time, Carter. I have a more trustworthy colleague to work with now.
You didn't come here alone this time. What's that girl up to? This is murder! You're taking away these patients' only chance at survival! Zane, you ungrateful traitor! You might be smart, but you're weak and short-sighted! Security!
Oh well. Another layer of ice appears to seal his mouth shut.
You said this place was perfect for heart-to-heart conversations, since no one would disturb us. I'm afraid you'll have to stay frozen for a while. Carter, you're not doing this to save lives, nor are you doing it to save humanity. Everything you've done is to merely fill the emptiness and soothe the fear you have when confronting death.
Zane takes out a palm-sized access card from Carter's pocket. Zane's gaze doesn't meet his. It lands on Carter's heart instead.
I doubt the heart's donor wants it beating in the chest of an executioner.
Crazy. A holographic display takes up half of my field of vision. The green dot representing Zane is moving toward my position. Not expecting much, I take a deep breath and place my hand on the door. To my surprise, it opens with a gentle push. Light streams through the glass dome and lands on the floor. It reveals an elegantly decorated reception hall. The space is completely empty, only the sound of footsteps echoes. Only the sound of footsteps echoes to break the silence. Zane, I sent you the coordinates. That's where the energy core is.
Don't worry, I'm just...
As soon as my hand touches the railing for the staircase going up, the scene before me flickers and vanishes. The comms channel is dead. I pull my hand away and take half a step back. I turn as colors fade. Like running water, they flow out. From the ceiling, walls, and floor, they all melt into an endless expanse of pure white. It's like a white tomb.
I'm honored you decided to visit.
I hear a slightly amused voice behind me. I roll around to find Benedict standing in the middle of the reception hall. I'm not sure when he appeared. While I'm startled, I need to look composed right now. What happened? Am I stuck? Oh, I'm in another dome. You've done a good job at preparing for the press conference, Mr. Benedict. It's going well without you. He touches the wall and the white space suddenly dissipates. It returns to its original form, a reception hall.
Miss Hunter, you should have been the most successful test subject. It's a shame you weren't one of ours. After all, every experiment here exists for one purpose: to create beings just like you.
A gunshot explodes in the empty reception hall. I'm tired of hearing you every people talk about the same thing. Let's skip the formalities and get to fighting. LOL. Feisty. Just as the bullet approaches him, crystal shards suddenly burst from his arm to pulverize the projectile. Oh.
Oh, right. I forgot to mention something. I'm one of the cocoon's successful specimens.
You could have said that earlier. I quickly switch out the regular bullets in my magazine for energy rounds designed to fight wanderers, then I shoot him. But Benedict seems to have anticipated this. At his signal, several shadowy figures surge forth from the darkness. Several Ultron move with inhuman speed. Like savage beasts, they lunge towards me. You're calling for backup already? I guess you aren't really a successful specimen. Quickly stepping to the side and spinning, I dodge in the nick of time. The Ultron crash into one another. I don't plan on dragging this fight out. Zayne will be here soon. Finding the energy core's location is the highest priority. I activate the spatial core's sensing ability again. There's a faint energy signature coming from the top floor of the building. And then everything before my eyes becomes indistinguishable once again. As the light shifts and wavers, thick fog appears from out of nowhere. It rolls in and blurs even the faces of the Alterum.
Play with them for a while.
My senses stop working and my vision is plunged into an endless void. Overwhelming dizziness washes over me. What happened? Desperate, I try to stay conscious in spite of the vertigo, but my legs give out and I collapse on the cold floor. I know I've reached my limit. Just before I lose consciousness, the sounds around me fade. In the void, I feel someone firmly grab my wrist. The churning sensation of instability vanishes when I open my eyes.
Are you okay? Where does it hurt?
Oh well. Under the flickering light, I can barely make out Zayne's worried expression. Before I can say I'm fine, a searing pain erupts from my chest and flows through my entire body. I press my hand against my chest, but the physical pressure does nothing to ease the pain.
Stop trying to sense it. You look pale.
Oh. It's like exerting too much energy. I grab his hand, gritting my teeth, I tell Zayne everything that just happened.
After them! Where did they go?
Don't speak. Keep your breathing steady.
Zayne quickly surveys our surroundings. He pulls my arm over his shoulder and helps me walk. It's not there. Go straight, past the barrier. We pass through the wall. We pass through the wall. The Ultron are right behind us, but it seems they are fooled by the elusive hologram. Thankfully, the space hasn't been warped. Zayne pulls me into an empty room and slams the door. Ice covers it, but the Ultron have cornered us. They claw at the frost and create this sharp, grating sound. Ew. Everything in front of me blurs into patches of color. I try to grab Zayne's hand, but my strength fails me. My hand weakly slides down his sleeve. This girl is having a stroke. Oh shit.
Zayne?
Oh.
Why am I tied up?
It's done.
What did you inject me with?
A suppressant. The energy in your heart has surpassed your tolerance threshold. This will ease the strain. Better now?
Zayne.
The suppressant won't last long. We need to leave now.
Fluctuations. It's metaflux.
Swift.
Fire.
Oh, you're still here. How delightful.
Of course we would survive. If you take another step, I can't guarantee you'll get out of this alive.
Dr. Zayne, a hunter firearm can't kill you, but a wanderer can.
LOL. Ooh. Slick. Ooh. Regularly.
If that's it, then... He underestimated us. Watch your heart. 30% of your evil should do. In your case, the cure is extreme measures.
That was cute. Classic back to back.
We don't have much time. Let's
see a successful specimen.
with our combined strength.
You guys got
Here I
this,
go.
right?
Zayne.
Here it comes. Leave it to me. Is this what you wanted?
Perfect. It was just a scratch. You won't escape.
Inches. Stand up.
I'm okay. Let's take it down first.
This is a successful specimen?
Self-declared successful specimen. Keep your distance, or else you'll get hurt. Struggling is futile.
Recovered already? How tiresome. No.
It's your turn.
Nope.
Try to find the truth within these endless illusions.
I'll show you. Zayne.
Here it comes. Too late.
Now you can't escape.
I'll send it on a journey.
Its final journey. I'm getting the hang of this.
Watch where it's going. It's mine now. It's your turn. It is weak. Now's our chance. Struggling is futile.
Bring it on. I'll deal.
It recovered. Be careful.
Eat this. We crushed them.
Good job, you guys. Hearing the chapter, the main story. I wonder how long it's gonna take before the new story comes out. After using up almost all of my ammunition, the Wanderer finally crashes to the ground, but this isn't the end. The sound of regenerating flesh echoes throughout the building as the crystals on its body rapidly retract. It's as if they're being devoured. Just a few seconds, the Wanderer has completely regenerated and takes on Benedict's appearance.
Wait for an opening first. Then we'll retreat. There's no point in continuing this fight.
Zayne is right. Benedict isn't our primary target right now. Just now, something about Zayne seemed off. The flash of black crystals, the killing intent, the cold indifference in his eyes, it all vanished. A strange unease rises in my chest, but there's no time to dwell on it. I fire my last bullet at Benedict as a grayish-white mist fills the reception hall. Here's another good example of my seamless coordination with Zayne.
Now's our chance. Go.
With the Altera at our heels, I lead Zayne toward the strongest energy signature I remember sensing in this building. Have you noticed how the Alterum are getting stronger? They're practically like living weapons. Could it be that after their consciousnesses are eroded, these failed test subjects are turned into tools that can be commanded? After taking down another Alterum that tried to attack us, I run toward a corner. The strongest energy signature was right behind the door. Huh? Where's the door?
Watch out.
As Frost immobilizes the guard who tried to ambush us, Zane stands back to back with me. Both of us are on high alert. Part of the layout has changed again.
If this place is a projection, then changing the layout would be the quickest way to hide the energy core's location.
Ugh, this is annoying. I have to find the energy signatures again.
Remember to not let your energy overload your heart. I don't have any more stabilizing injections.
Speaking of which, where did you get the one you gave me?
Knowing how a certain Miss Hunter tends to overuse her evil, I came prepared.
When you restrained me earlier...
It was because you were too strong.
I place my hand on the wall. Energy surges through my veins as my sensing ability is magnified. The location becomes clearer. I'm certain the energy core is being held on the top floor. I found it. Follow me. The last Alterum is knocked down to the area below. Only me and Zane are on the top floor. At the end of the cold white corridor stands a single door. It's as if our only option is to move forward. This is it. Zane and I exchange a quick glance before swiping Carter's ID card against the scanner.
Welcome to the Energy Core Control Room, Dr. Carter.
Boy. Once the door to the control room closes, a layer of ice covers it. Thick cables run across the area, and they all converge on the central energy pillar that emits a luminescent blue light. It's being powered by a protocore. In all of its glory, this is Ever's crown jewel in the industry of protocore technology. The energy pillar is destroyed. All ongoing experiments will immediately cease. In other words, Karen, who is currently undergoing an examination, will remain trapped in her cocoon. It could potentially cause irreversible damage to her body.
Are you worried she might regret her decision?
Maybe. Wants to destroy it, so I will destroy it. I can't betray her trust in me, or rather, I believe in her choice. I remember the first time I held Karen's hand. It was thin, delicate, yet surprisingly strong. Zane raises his hand and hurls a shard of ice toward the luminescent energy pillar.
Zane, wait!
Carter's voice rings out from the overhead speakers as the surrounding glass walls instantly become transparent. I can see Carter has arrived. Catching his breath, he's standing in the reception hall we were in earlier.
Zane, leave this place, and don't you dare destroy that energy core! Do you remember how much time and effort we put into this?
Without a hint of emotion in his eyes, Zane gives Carter a slight nod. Amid the chaos, Benedict calmly stands behind the crowd. He smiles as he raises his hand to his ear.
You dropped your facade sooner than I expected, Dr. Zane. Is it because of your sense of duty as a doctor, or a resolve driven by guilt?
Believing that you can guide humanity's fate so you can control life and death is the epitome of arrogance.
Isn't thinking you have the right to stop any experiment that crosses the boundaries of life just as arrogant? This is what the people in our era want. And in just a few centuries, or maybe even a few decades, history will remember this moment.
You have no right to speak of such things.
Why don't we watch and see how the future unfolds? Even if you've stopped Ms. Karen's experiment and prevented the press conference today, you can't stop the tide of progress.
It's more or less the same rhetoric. Did everyone ever attend the same corporate seminar or something? LOL.
Ah, yes. I have one more question I'd like to ask you, Dr. Zane.
The static in the comms channel suddenly falls silent and cuts off Carter's angry shouts. All I can hear is Benedict's steady voice tinged with amusement alongside his breaths.
Back then, why did you choose to destroy something that could have shaken or even changed the world?
He asked the same exact question. He asked the exact same question that I did. A sense of unease stirs as I glance at Zane, who's maintaining his usual composure.
It couldn't be controlled. Any action beyond our control leads to unpredictable consequences.
Maybe it's because he uses evil too many times in quick succession. Delicate ice crystals are steadily creeping up Zane's forearm.
Uncontrollable. I see. Your rationality is an absolute, the very thing that drives you to eliminate any possibility of losing control. It affects the smallest things about yourself to the greatest matters of this world. That's why you killed William at Mount Eternal back then, yes?
I don't remember who William is. Or rather, should I know who William is?
You really are capable of such cruelty. You struck down your mentor and friend who fought beside you.
Oh.
Even I would have hesitated.
Cut to the chase.
A long time passes before Zane's voice breaks the silence. Although his tone remains calm, his ragged breathing gives him away.
You're here to atone for your mistake. That much is certain. But you also wish to uncover what you think is the truth. For example, surely there must be an explanation for why those Alterum look so much like everyone who died at Mount Eternal.
In the tense undercurrents of this moment, a harsh truth slowly surfaces.
I'll tell you, those people at Mount Eternal were this experiment's first batch of failed specimens. Your companions, William, all your guilt and suffering, I'm the one who caused it.
His tone is almost nonchalant, yet every sentence is like a knife straight to the heart.
A discovery that could have shaken the world to its core, abandoned because of a moment of cowardice. You made their deaths as meaningless as those of the failed Alterum.
A wave of frost surges throughout the room. A bone-chilling cold creeps up from the floor. The windows, walls, and floor are sealed under thick layers of ice. They form intricate crystalline patterns. Zane. With each breath, the veins on his neck throb as black ice crystals spread rapidly across his skin. It's like they're trying to devour every last bit of his life force. This isn't the Zane I know. This is the merciless Grim Reaper who emerged from the depths of hell itself. He's come to accomplish his mission. The door that had been sealed with ice bursts open. Having completed their transformations into wanderers, the Ultron try to overwhelm us like a tidal wave. As soon as they get close, sharp icicles pierce their chests. The shards of ice then explode outward like a violent storm. More Ultron advance. They crush the fallen ice crystals beneath their feet as they crawl over corpses to reach us. Just break the thing. All of the Ultron open and close their mouths in unison. They stutter and produce these unsettling sounds. No matter how hard he tries, Zane can't make out what they're saying or see their faces clearly. The nightmare wraps around his body like a phantom. It coils behind him and whispers Fate's curse into his ear.
Aren't you a doctor?
Am I
Why
going
can't
to
you
die?
save
Pay
anyone?
for this.
I didn't sacrifice everything just to become someone ordinary and powerless.
One day, you will hurt her.
Oh. He clutches his chest and feels as if the icy wind stabbed it. He stares at the corner of the tent fluttering in the snowy gale with a distant, otherworldly gaze. William, who had just finished the surgery, pauses in surprise. Then he smiles and holds out his hand toward him.
Nightmare? If you can't sleep, then we can go for a walk.
Everything that just happened, it seems to have been a dream. He stares at his fingers, the blood, the girl's shocked expression. It was all just a dream. It was just a dream.
It's unfortunate we couldn't save the patient today. Don't be too hard on yourself. Back when I was doing research, failure meant you could always try again. But as a doctor, lives will only give you one chance. You know, I had these exact same feelings during my first mission as a military doctor.
The polar night hasn't disappeared. The dark blue sky appears to be almost within reach. This desolate land, covered in a blanket of snow, is always magnificent.
It took me a long time to realize that what we have to face isn't just the loss of a life and death itself. The way they look at you in their final moments, it's always the same. Time and time again. You'll have to see their fear and desperation when they're about to die.
William is deep in thought, then, as if remembering something, he turns to Zane and smiles.
By the way, did you hear my final plea when you killed me?
He stares blankly at William's distorted face, and in the very next second, once again, he sinks in the dark abyss of his consciousness. What did that say? And in the very next second, the ice shards have already pierced his heart. There are more of them. They're actually using the Ultram as weapons. I roll and find an opening in the wall of the Ultram that's protecting Benedict. I aim my gun at him. But before I can pull the trigger, brilliant ice flies toward Benedict. Benedict smiles. He crushes the ice shard embedded in his chest.
You're different from the man I was talking to earlier. I must say, you're skilled at saving and taking lives, Dr. Zane.
With a slight gesture of his hand, the Ultram freeze in place like marionettes. They withdraw like receding water as if they received a silent command.
I hope you'll find your true path after our candid discussion.
Soon enough, only the two of us remain in the vast cold control room. Ignoring everything else, I rush past the dissipating ice crystals to Zane and cradle his face in my hands. Zane, look at me, listen to me. No matter who Benedict is, I'll always keep a bullet just for him, starting today. Zane's labored breathing shows how intense the pain is. The black ice crystals emerge from his neck and continue to spread out. His ice-cold fingers are slowly slipping away from my palm. You need to wake up from this nightmare right now. These hands that save countless lives should never be stained with the pain and guilt that don't belong to them, especially not because of scum like Benedict. Zane, you have to... These few seconds feel like centuries, and then he finally raises his head to look at me. He slowly tenses... He slowly tenses, and I see myself reflected in his icy gaze. Zane? Pain answers me instead. My consciousness shatters as I drift into the warm embrace of unconsciousness. Did he just hit me? Before everything fades, distant memories regroup and flood my mind. The ground is littered with the remains of wanderers. They're slowly dissipating. Meanwhile, searing pain burns my chest. Struggling to push myself up, I see bloodstained hands are small and thin. I see my bloodstained hands are small and thin. This happened when I was little. I look up. There's a young man with a familiar face, but his expression is frighteningly cold and foreign. While I'm dazed, his face emerges with Zane's present-day appearance. They, from my memories and reality, approach me step by step.
Your existence is a mistake. You must be eliminated.
It's as if Black Frost has covered his eyes, having materialized in his raised hand. Sharp ice crystals hurl themselves at me. The next day, the pristine sanatorium stands tall, immaculate, and serene. It's been restored to the point where yesterday's attack might have never happened at all.
Wherever and whenever
So did
you
we
need
fail?
us,
I'm so
we will
confused.
provide you with healthcare services of the highest quality.
In the courtyard, a gentle breeze caresses the grass kissed by early morning light. A cocoon hangs on a delicate swaying flower stem. The faint sounds of struggle can be heard from within. Light reveals the outline of tightly folded wings behind its translucent walls. Moist and tender, it breaks free from its cocoon, and in the refreshing air of rebirth, those wings slowly take to the skies. Huh? What the heck happened? My heart constricts as sharp pain courses through every fiber of my being. My consciousness sinks into a blurry darkness. Footsteps that are close by sound distant, as if they're muffled under a glacier. Zane, is that you? He stops in his tracks as if he heard me. Is this a memory? He doesn't take the candy or freeze the melting popsicle I offer him.
Stay away from me!
Oh.
I'm sorry.
A box sits on the doorstep, wisps of cold air drift inside it. Inside the box lie three misshapen snowballs, remnants from when Zane was still learning how to use his evil as a kid. Really? Zane knows I got hit with ice when watching the seals, and now he made snowballs to tease me. I heard footsteps. Did he already leave? I don't see anyone nearby. As I hold the box close, an inexplicable sense of loss washes over me. I want to say his name, but something catches in my throat. It silences my voice. Goodness, I should have done one chapter per stream. A lot of reading. Zane. I managed to finally call it his name, yet when I open my eyes, I find myself staring at a dimly lit ceiling. As my foggy consciousness slowly clears, I realize I'm laying down in a room at Oxo Hospital.
Due to Miss Karen's poor health, Ever's press conference for today has been canceled.
Oh.
Mr. Benedict, the director of Val Sanatorium, stated that the patient's well-being takes precedence over the event.
A hand waves before me. Its owner's lips move as they say something I can't make out.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Looking down, I see my wounds have been bandaged, and the pain has mostly subsided. I sit up and take Yvonne's hand. Where's Zane? He did
You're
hit
awake?
me?
Thank goodness you're okay. You had cardiac energy overload and some minor injuries when Dr. Zane brought you in.
Okay.
We asked him what happened, but he wouldn't say anything. He stayed in this room until your vital signs stabilized.
As she speaks, Yvonne leans in. Her expression becomes more serious.
I heard from Grayson that Dr. Zane went to the director's office to submit his resignation letter.
Crazy. What?
There was a loud commotion in the office. I've never seen the director that angry before. He didn't approve it and gave Dr. Zane an extended leave. Then he told him to go home and think things through. He wouldn't say another word about it. Dr. Zane didn't hesitate at all. But before he left the hospital, He asked us to take good care of you.
I try to force myself to smile, but I can't. Only one thought is in my mind. Find him.
Wait, you can't just... Oh no. Please, be careful.
I'm sorry. We haven't seen him.
Sorry, we haven't seen anyone who matches your description.
Dr. Zane! A few days ago, he said he'd be traveling to remote. Oh, you must be that young lady.
Oh, I forgot that he asked the dessert shop to give me like a 1 month supply of desserts.
This is our new menu item for today. Would you like it to go?
Wait! Dr. Zane already paid for it.
Zane's home, his favorite dessert place, the cafe near Oxo Hospital. I visited every place I could think of, but there was no trace of him anywhere. Late into the night, I entered the passcode to his house again, and clinging onto one final hope. The room is shrouded in darkness. Snowflakes drift in through the gaps of the floor-to-ceiling windows. Would you leave your window
The
open?
number you have dialed is currently unavailable. Please try again later.
Memories that are no longer dormant slowly flood my mind again. I've seen those black ice crystals and that pained look on his face before. In my childhood memories, Zane moved away while carrying a heavy, unspoken guilt. This bad habit of disappearing has existed even back then. I hear a faint whimper in the cold. I raise my head and rub my stinging eyes to see Shichi. It's you. As if he understands me, Shichi leaps onto the sofa and gently places his paw on my knee. I feel like I've tried everything, but I still can't find him. I hold Shichi close, my trembling voice barely above a whisper. I didn't realize it cracked until now. Please, can you help me one more time? Take me to him. Time passes, then Shichi obediently jumps down, sniffs the blanket on the sofa that carries Zane's scent, and runs towards the half-open door. Is he in the fractal library? In the darkest hours of the night, it's snowing again. Large snowflakes dance around the glowing streetlights. They settle on rooftops, streets, passing cars, and the shoulders of pedestrians. After running for a long time, Shichi stops in front of a pitch-black fence. He circles it a few times before signaling me to follow him. Where am I? The streetlight illuminates the faded writing on a sign. This is a public cemetery in Lincoln City. It's also the final resting place for those who have no place to call home. Shichi quickly vanishes into the darkness. I steel myself before running after him. I would be careful about running. As soon as I see that familiar figure, my heart leaps violently in my chest. Zane. He stands in the snowy night, his coat billowing between black tombstones. He's like a ghost who has nowhere to go. I understand why he left the moment I see the names on the... I understand why he left the moment I see the names on the tombstones. Oh, they're all his, are they? He chose to imprison himself in this nightmare. He wants to atone, to seek redemption from the monsters he killed. I hurry to his side, but when I try to call out his name, it gets stuck in my throat.
Why are you here?
Questions overwhelm my mind, but I don't know what to ask about first. You chose to disappear without a word. You didn't even give me an explanation.
These graves belong to the people who died by my hand. I don't believe their deaths were unjustified. Do you think I'm here because of guilt? I'm not standing in front of them for repentance, let alone the atonement you're imagining.
When you almost raised your hand against me, based on your judgment, did that mean I was also someone who needed to be killed? He doesn't evade the question. He nods without any hesitation. So this is why you submitted your resignation letter to Oxo Hospital. You haven't even healed my heart yet, and you're going to leave just like that? You told me not to change doctors on a whim, but can doctors abandon their patients whenever they want? A complex feeling crawls up my throat to my tongue as emotions bubble up like boiling water.
I first met you when I came to Oxo Hospital. I was 12 at the time. Dr. Noah was a close friend of your grandmother, and I was told to look after you. You were afraid of me back then, until I used my power to keep your popsicle from melting. When things finally settled down after the Chrono Rift catastrophe, my parents asked if I wanted to move somewhere else. I hesitated for a long time. Was worried I wouldn't be able to see you anymore. But then that incident happened, and I actually hurt you. You were unconscious and bleeding heavily. When I realized what happened, I couldn't understand why I did it.
He closes his eyes for a moment. When he opens them, his expression is as serene as the calm after a storm. It's like he finally woke up from a year-long nightmare, only to discover that the nightmare has become reality.
That was when I realized I could lose control of my power. And not being in control can lead to irreversible consequences. It's why I chose to leave without saying goodbye.
The truth pierces my heart like needles. Words are stuck in my throat.
Perhaps I chose cardiac surgery because I wanted to heal your heart. Or maybe I wanted to make amends for what I did back then. Even I don't know.
He keeps his gaze lowered, and his voice is as soft as melting snowflakes.
But I didn't hesitate when I chose the field of medicine. When I first recited the Hippocratic Oath, I truly believed I would become a good doctor. I believed I would save many people, including the one I had hurt before.
It doesn't seem like he noticed my obvious shock. Zayne just gazes calmly at the weathered gravestone.
Until that night on Mount Eternal, when I killed William.
But you didn't have a better choice at the time. Once again, he lowers his emotionally detached gaze.
Do you really think a killer can be a doctor who saves lives? If something like this happens again, you might regret the fact that you tried to keep me close.
Are you saying your nightmares are destined to become reality? Will I turn into a monster that needs to be killed one day? I didn't expect him to answer, yet he shakes his head.
I don't know.
So, are you avoiding me now because of logical reasoning? What about your feelings? If we're going by pure logic, then now is the time. Do it, Zayne. Are you afraid, or is this something you don't want to do? Looking at his calm, aloof expression, I find myself beyond the point of rationality. Whatever you do today, I won't have any regrets.
But I would.
Snowflakes land on my eyelashes. They turn his figure into prismatic fragments that are like ripples in the darkness.
I'm certain that if I were to truly hurt you one day, it would be the greatest regret of my life.
The snowflakes fall as if they're floating through the cosmos. They land on us and the gravestones. We stand in silence. Neither of us exchanges a single word. After that day, rumors related to the Alterum and Dawnbreaker faded away like melting snow. These pure white specks were but fleeting visitors. The city awakens in daylight, and once again it's immersed in its bizarre flood of information. The spatial core's energy remains concentrated in my chest. It's like a seed that's merged with my flesh. It faintly echoes with my heartbeat. I know these aether cores connect my past to my future. They're linked to the secrets hidden in deep space. Yet I wonder what fate awaits the Alterum, Zayne, and me. Ever won't give up on the fountain of Bate they've carefully cultivated. They'll continue to weave their dreams of immortality. They were right about one thing. The cycle of life and death is an inescapable truth. The constraints of matter break down, and the shackles of time and space gradually dissolve. Countless civilizations. I can feel my voice starting to strain from all this reading. Countless civilizations rise and fall among the stars because of the laws that guide entropy and dissipation. Earth's magnificent radiance will eventually fade. Humanity's long undisturbed period of exile will also come to an end. I wouldn't understand that much. I wouldn't understand that until much, much later. The Creator had planted for foreshadowings in an era predating life itself. Is it over? It's over. Oh. Yeah, it's over. Wow. Poor Zane. Poor Bob. So didn't break the thing, and Zane stabbed me. um, and I don't know, that part of the story didn't really hit as hard for me, I suppose, because I know nothing about his myth. I know nothing about his past. Um, I don't know if he's
time to
like
get
someone
moving.
who's like
Take
destined
this.
to kill me.
It's time to serve the main course.
Just judging
There's
by
plenty to go
what's
around.
been happening.
Silas,
It can't escape.
you won't escape.
I guess it's gonna fight dirty. This is only the beginning.
Take this.
It's time to serve the main court. It's your time to shine.
It's your turn.
Okay, if you say so. You're too close. That's my spot.
Take this.
It's time to serve the main court. It's your time to shine.
My turn.
Where are you going? Look out. If we're covered, are you up for a joyride later?
Where do you want to take me?
Just to digest. I think there's a lot that needs to be digested. It was like those were a lot of lore drops. Because before it's like a lot of it was just like, you know, setting up the environment, and introducing us to everyone. And now it's like going deep into our lore, the MC's lore, and then our connection to everyone, and yeah, a lot to digest.
It's time to get moving.
Take this.
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around. It's your turn.
Okay, if you say so. Don't rush in carelessly.
Damn it.
bad.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main core. It's your time to shine.
You won't escape. My turn.
Its attacks are getting stronger. Move. If we're cut, don't be shy when using me.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main core. It's your time to shine. Are you up for a joyride later?
Where do you want to take me?
Guess.
Let's just see. Okay. Think that's it for now. I do have yeah, I did get these 5-star memories. I'll probably do those. Um do those another time. Um yeah. Maybe we can talk about like lore and stuff. And I'll probably watch some lore videos and summaries and interpretations and such. Anyways, good night. Bye.